All right, for number 2, for Anya's birthday, it'll help if we get our wand here. There we go. For Anya's birthday, her father gave out colorful birthday hats that were cone shaped. Anya was very happy that day. The opening of the bottom of the hat was 3.5 centimeters, and the height of the cone was 7.9 centimeters. Anya filled her hat with candy. What is the approximate volume of candy? Now, that seemed like a lot right there. So what we're going to do is, in order to make sense of this, we're going to go ahead and read it one more time. But when we read it the second time, we're going to start to annotate. So let's take a look at the first sentence. For Anya's birthday, her father gave out colorful birthday hats that were cone shaped. So we're going to go ahead and stop there. Okay, things of importance. We are talking about a cone. End of story. Okay, birthday hat is a cone. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a cone. So here we go. We got a cone. All right, there we go. And we could make it a little bit better. Let's make it a point. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Good. Okay, second sentence. Anya was very happy that day. I don't think Anya being very happy is really going to help us with this particular problem. So what I would do is cross that out. I would consider this called excess information that is not needed. So again, Anya being happy is not, unfortunately, going to help us solve the problem. So sentence number 3. The opening of the bottom of the hat was 3.5 centimeters. Now that will help us. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and circle 3.5 centimeters. You go ahead and circle it too. Make sure you're doing that. And that relates to the opening of the bottom. So 3.5 is the opening of the bottom. All right, so here we go. Opening of the bottom is 3.5 centimeters. Okay, from side to side. Okay, and the height of the cone was 7.9 centimeters. Now, of course, that's helpful. The height is 7.9 centimeters. So from the bottom to the top is 7.9 centimeters. Okay, now we're back to our visuals. We can see actually what the stuff looks like. Okay, Anya fills her hat with candy. What is the approximate volume of the candy? So that part there just basically states that find the volume of the cone is what it's coming down to. So even though this is full of candy, and I think everybody's candy is of course red, so let's say this is full of candy. There we go, completely full. It's the same thing again. Again, what's the volume of the cone? All right. Now the volume of the cone, the first step we need is a formula. Now I want to point out that from our last problem, we kind of remember the formula by using the pi method. So we need to start with the volume, which is equal, and the volume of a cone is the exact same thing as a cylinder, except we're going to add one part at the end. So remember, from a cylinder, that is volume equals, you need the pi times raspberries to the second power times the height of the pi. Now, if you take a look at the cone is 1/3 smaller than the cylinder. Let me give you an example. So let's say if I were to turn this into a cylinder. Okay. So blue lines would represent the cylinder. Now, if you take a look, the cone here is clearly inside the cylinder with all this extra space in it. So because the cone is smaller by 1/3, all we do is we just add divide 3 at the end, and that's it. Divide 3. And that's our volume of a cylinder, or of a cone. Alright? So again, volume of a cone is your pi with 2 raspberries times the height. That's the cylinder formula. But a cone, because it's smaller, divide 3. So every time you'll know that formula. Alright? So we're going to go ahead and circle it. The formula here you have to memorize. You just got to know. They won't give it to you on a test. Alright, you just got to know it. Alright, let's plug in what we do know. When I read this entire thing, it is asking for the volume. So V is left as V, but everything else is given. So we know that volume equals 3.14. So plug in 3.14 for pi. We're going to use 3.14 for today. Times raspberries. Now this one's a little bit dirty of a question. Take a look. From side to side, that is called the diameter. That is not the radius. So again, from side to side, that's called the diameter, not the radius. So this 3.5, a lot of students, they'd plug it in for radius and they get it wrong. Alright, so what you have to do is take half of 3.5. So what I'd like you to do right now is go ahead and take out that calculator. So again, take out that calculator. So I'm giving you a chance right now. You're taking out the calculator. I'm going to do this with you. And you're also going to check on your calculator to make sure you get the correct answer. Alright, in the calculator, what you're going to do is you're going to press the 3, the decimal underneath the 2, and the 5. So I got 3.5 in the calculator right now. Divide the 2 and press equals. Now, did you get, let's see, did you get 1.75? Because if you did, you got it right. So again, 3.5 divide 2 is 1.75 centimeters. That is a radius. So we're going to plug that in for a radius. So go up to your paper here and write in 1.75. So again, on your paper, write this down. Your radius is 1.75 to the second power. We'll come back to that second power in a moment here. Okay, multiply your height. Now the height is a freebie. It's given to you. They said from top to bottom it's 7.9. So I just take that 7.9 and plug it in for height. I'm going to run over a little bit on my other box, but it's okay. Times 7.9. And the last part, divide 3, just put it in there. Divide 3. Alright. Here we go. We're going to fatten out the pen a little bit. Make sure you see it. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. Let's see. First part we need to address is the 7.5 to the second power. So again, 7.5 to the second power. It has to be done first. Everything else, leave it alone. So go back to your calculator. So again, take out the calculator. Do this with me. In the calculator, you're going to go ahead and clear it from your last problem. Type in 1 decimal, which is the decimal underneath the 2, 1.75 times, because that's the second power, you're going to type in it again, times 1.75 equals, I'm getting 3 point, looks like 0.6. It's going to round to 6 still. Okay, my exact calculator says 3.0625, but just round off to 2.5. It's insignificant. Alright, everything else, just go ahead and write it down. So your volume, bring it down. 3.14, bring it down. Multiply 3.06 that you had earlier times 7.9 divide your 3. Okay, now stay with me on this part. Let's do one thing at a time, from left to right. Notice that we all have multiply, multiply, and divide. Order of operations says let's go from left to right. So what I want to do next is in the calculator, we're going to go ahead and do 3.14 times 3.06. So do one part at a time to avoid mistakes. Alright, so volume equals, okay, so pick up the calculator, do this with me, again, pick up the calculator. In the calculator, go ahead and press 3.14 multiply 3.0 9.6 and press equals. And if you got 9.6084, that's correct. But go ahead and let's round that to 9.61 to round that 84 off. So again, if you got 9.6084 in the calculator, you got it correct. But again, round it up to 9.61. And back on your paper, go ahead and write it down. So write down the 9.61. I have it on my paper right now. And add in the rest of it. So you got to add times 7.9 divide 3. Alright, here we go. We got volume equals, now again, just keep going, 2 numbers at a time. So let's do 9.61 times 7.9 in the calculator. So clear off your calculator. Here we go. Type in a 9.61 multiply, so again, you need to have your calculator in your hand, 9.61, type it in, times 7.9 and press equals. And if you got 75.919, you got it right. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that in there. So we got 75 point, let's go ahead and call that 9, round the 1 up to a 2, because we have 919. So just round it up. And write that down on your paper right now. So we got 75.92 divide 3. Okay, so we got divide 3, it's the last two. So here we go. Back to my highlighter, we need to go ahead and take our last step. 75.92 divide 3. Volume equals, alright, pick up the calculator again. So type in, okay, and clear off your calculator. There's the on AC button in the top right corner if you need to clear it off. Okay, in your calculator type in 75.92 divide 3. And I'm getting 25.30666 basically forever. It says 67, but it just means 66 forever. So let's go ahead and make that 25.31. Let's round that up, 0 up to 1, because it had the 6 at the end. So 25.31. And because that is the volume, let's see if I can rotate it. Oh, there we go. Check that out. Now I go upside down. Okay, because that is 25.31 and that is the volume, we are talking about centimeters to the third power. So you need to add centimeters to the third power right there. So centimeters to the third power is our final volume of the birthday hat filled with candy.